Professor Carney.
You very clearly laid out what the problem is, that there's not enough education. How do we address putting that education? Does it go in the elementary school curriculum? Should we do it here at Lehman? But what do you suggest we do as a educational society to introduce more of Latino heritage?
Okay. Good question, and it's being done in South Florida right now. The students in South Florida have workbooks, Hispanic history workbooks, 2 of them, that are excellent. And at the elementary school level, that's where it should start. When you teach American history, any kind of American history, it should also include the contributions of African Americans and Latinos and Asians and every other ethnic group. And unfortunately, all of that stuff gets neglected. But again, it should start at the elementary school level. And it's being done some parts of the Southwest and in South Florida only. But it's not too late to catch up, even if you're in college, okay? That's what Hispanic Heritage Month should be about. It should be about talking about this stuff, not about, not just having a party, because that's what we end up doing. And again, a lot of young Latinos never heard of all this stuff when I tried to interview them over the years. Now, who's a Latino who wants to talk? There you go. Come up. Good. How are you?
I just wanted to say that I thought it was very informative, and that it was very courageous of you and your team to actually put out that information. A lot of what I learned today I didn't even know, and I'm actually taking my master's degree now in education. So to have all that information is almost like an arsenal to go into the classroom and teach younger Latinos and Hispanics the contributions that we have made to American society. Because I couldn't even tell you, if you stopped me at the Puerto Rican Day Parade and said, what are you here for? I would have been one of those that got stuck and been like, for the girls or something. But I definitely do appreciate it, and I definitely want to learn more, and it was great. Thank you.
That's really what it's about. People recognizing that there is a history there to learn, and appreciating it, and knowing that we have role models. When I learned about Hernando de Soto, I was fascinated by this guy. He covered like the whole south of the United States, 100 years before the British arrived, and that's so important. Let me tell you this story. When I was in San Agustin, I already told you about Jamestown and San Agustin. When I was in Jamestown, I bought several books about Jamestown at the official bookstore there, and actually bought some videotapes too. And when I was paying for the stuff, I said to the man, an elderly man who was there, obviously knowledgeable about a lot of history of Jamestown, it's a wonderful collection of American history books there, this bookstore. And I said to him, you wouldn't happen to have anything here about San Agustin, right? And he got offended. He said, no, sir, not at all. I mean, because it is something that they are trying to hide it's a tourist town. Jamestown is a tourist attraction. And so they want people to think that it is the first, and they sort of disguise it, the first permanent British settlement. They don't tell you that there were other settlements before. They call it the first permanent British settlement. And so when you mention San Agustin, it's offensive to them because they want to hide this information. And so, over and over again this summer, I took this whole trip and I went to Jamestown and San Agustin and other places as well. You saw me there at the Vietnam Memorial in Washington. I was pointing to a high school buddy of mine who died in Vietnam, so it became very personal when I saw his name on that wall. And again, we have made tremendous sacrifices over and over again throughout all of these countries' wars. Latinos have been there in disproportionate number. We may be 5% of the population at a certain period of history, 10% of the soldiers, 15% of the soldiers. So a disproportionate number of Latinos are fighting our wars. And then when they come back, they get discriminated. They're told to only speak English. I was on, and I know I'm going to hand this to you in a second. I was on on a debate just a couple of weeks ago on CNN, and they put me up against Tom Tancredo, who is a congressman who is running for president as a Republican. And he's only got one issue, this guy, bashing immigrants. He's made like this his whole campaign because he wants all the other Republican candidates to also deal with illegal immigration and all that. But the issue at that point was not immigration when we were on the show. It was language. It was the English-only movement. And he kept insisting, no, we got to speak English. I said, look, everywhere else in the world, people want to know 5 languages, you know, and what's wrong with knowledge? And at one point, I just couldn't take it anymore. I said, Congressman, I really don't, you know, if you insist on English, I just don't know what we're going to do with you. And he says, what do you mean? I said, well, you're from Colorado. What are we going to call your state? Red? You know, Florida, California, Arizona, all of these states have names in Spanish for a reason. It's because it's not San Francis Bay, it's San Francisco Bay because we were there first. Okay? Thank you very much.